Hi, welcome to day 13 of Tarot Combos from the home studio. Checking out the energies of two cards we're going to pull and see what we can learn from how those energies interact. And we are using our vintage tattoo tarot deck. So thank you for being here. Let's see what's here with us today. Okay, so we have the 10 of Coins, which is the 10 of Pentacles, challenged by the Hermit. Oh, this one's interesting. It's why do I say that every time? Aren't you annoyed? Aren't you over it? So the 10 of Pentacles challenged by the Hermit. So the 10 of Pentacles makes me think of like what we in our minds, what we feel is to be the ultimate abundance that we're seeking is in the material world. So what makes you feel like you finally got it, you finally achieved what you set out to do? Like what would fill you with a sense of that ease that comes with having everything, all of your desires met, all of your needs met, really. It's not so much desire. It's like, what about all of your needs being met? When would you, like, what would it be? What would it take for you to feel like that exhale that says, I am so comfortable. I want for nothing. Anything else is just icing on the cake, bonus. That's for each of us to ask. It's not like we might have ideas of what it should be, like culturally, socially, like in our friend groups, family, society, our communities. There are certain like ideals, I think, we're like, man, that would be great. But this is more about, but you personally, all that aside, what would it take for you to be like, oh, yeah, because it's different for each of us. Some people need a lot. Some people need very little to feel that. It's different for everybody. So for you, what is it? Is it the perfect job? Is it a certain salary? Is it a certain friend group? Like you feel like, or like a certain balance of friends, a certain like alone time and social time. Like there's so many factors to consider about what would make you feel really abundant in this life, really satisfied. Because this is saying this energy is like the ultimate expression of that. What is it for you? Crossed by or challenged by the Hermit, which is saying, uh-oh, something's asking you to look inside to seek some deeper wisdom. Okay, so what I think this is saying, it feels true to me, is how does searching, like where is the tension bubbling up in juxtaposing these energies? Where would tension bubble up when you're being asked to look inside for that what is it? Like, have you been one to always look outside to say, well, yeah, I want what they have, and I guess I'll go about it by doing what they're doing, because something here is saying maybe you've put a little too much emphasis on appearances or, what's out there, and something's saying go inside. And for some reason, it feels really challenging. And why is that? Maybe we've never been encouraged to do that, especially these days with like all the ads just constantly being bombarded into our eyeballs from like, TV if you still watch TV, but like streaming services and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all the things where you're just being confronted with these things that they say you should want. And it's like, where's your voice in all that? Do you still remember what your needs and wants and desires and preferences look like? Or is it like, I never knew I needed that. Yeah, I want one of those. if you had never been confronted with anything from the outside, this is saying what would make you feel so at ease and satisfied and content. Content's kind of the key word with the Pentacles. It's like when your body just feels like you're not like holding or tense or overly emotional or like overly greedy or envious or jealous or comparing. It's more like just like you just feel comfortable in your skin, in the conditions of your life. So what would that be for you? And why is it so challenging? Because this is saying it's pretty challenging for you to go inside and look and really inquire and question what that would be. I can resonate with that in my personal life, just because it's like, you know, especially with my old line of work, I always thought, well, that's what I'm supposed to do, because I had a little bit of excitement to go into technology because it was like something about it just lit me up as like, it was like endless possibilities. And this was the .com boom, like a little prior to that. So it was the Wild West. And so that was exciting. Nowadays I'd be like, ew, I want no part of it. It's overwhelming. There's too much. I'm not smart enough. But back then it was like the Wild West where anybody could get their hands dirty and learn and build things and be like, look at this weird little thing I made. And it was fun. And now I'm like, oh, but back then, but after that, that initial excitement set me down the path. Then I was confronted with like, oh, this is like, I kept following my excitements and my interests, but then it was like, and then more, the salaries got bigger and responsibility got more and expectations were higher, and this whole like extra stuff built up around this, what used to be this weird little excitement. And then I was like, always looking to the outside to say, oh, well, that's the next job I want, or that's the next salary thing that I want. Or it just felt like, where did my internal compass, like, and I only know that by looking in hindsight. It was like, I kept trying to follow my interests, but it felt like they got narrowed into like, okay, but only within this wiggle room, you know. And it just felt like I was going into not where I wanted to go, like just this dark corner. It's hard to describe. So do you feel like that's kind of sometimes with, just real talk here, do you feel like sometimes that's just how the corporate world is, or like looking to the outside to gauge like, where do I fit in this society with my skill set, with my capacity for learning and wanting to learn, or, you know, just like I feel like sometimes the realm of possibilities, I knew that was going to happen. It was precariously situated on my speaker, so I'll hold it. But anyway, I feel like that often happens in all kinds of fields of work, but it shows up in a lot of different places in life too. Like with the relationship, well, here's the kind I was kind of conditioned to want, and I never questioned it. And then it just started feeling more and more narrow. Like, where do I fit within this? What am I supposed to want? And so the Hermit is really here to say, you definitely need to go inside, because you have all the answers. And this is how you find it, is by shining the light inside. And something here is asking you, why is that so hard? Why does it feel really more challenging than one would think? Is it just because it's a muscle we haven't used before, of like saying, well, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And it doesn't have to be materialistic. It's just like, wait a minute. If I pretended I was a brand new alien on this planet and everything was possible, what do I feel like? How would I want my life to look? What kind of life would I build from the ground up? Maybe do that sort of like thinking, where it's like, I'm an alien who can do anything because I'm so smart and resourceful and creative and all the things. What kind of life would I build? Lay it out. You know, like what would your little hermit inside wisdom self say? And then you can start talking yourself down, but don't. But I feel like a lot of times it is a muscle and we don't use it. And so when we go to use it, it's like, oh, that hurts. No. It's like, what do I want is a question that initially on the surface we might say, well, I'm taking care of others. It's not about what I want, you know? So watch out for that voice because you got to take care of yourself first so you can take care of others. But anyway, that's kind of where this is going. Why does it feel so hard to ask yourself, what do you want? Why is that hard? Is it just because that muscle hasn't been flexed? And then you know what it's, if you want to use that analogy, like it's just do a little bit of reps every day to introduce that muscle to the hard work. So ask yourself a little bit every day, what do I want? And just wait for your voice. Don't force it. Just wait for that inner knowing because the hermit has all the wisdom. This is you on the inside. You have all your answers. Just ask it a little bit every day until it starts to feel less challenging. And then until you start to hear more whispers, until you're now attuned to when you look around and say, oh, that looks great. Like if it has to come from the outside in order to hit you on the inside, that's perfectly natural too. You don't have to just dream it up. And I say that as if I'm talking to myself because I am, because that muscle is hard for me. It feels really hard until I look out there and I throw myself against all these possibilities and see what feels good. And like, oh yeah, let's do that. So, that is a possible route. It's one that I've been using because oftentimes it's like, I was thinking about this today. That's funny. Like, not really knowing what feels good till I try it on for size, and then I know whether it fits or not. And I think that's why it's a really good analogy because there's some sort of truth to that in the way of self-inquiry. So yeah.